there, I'm Robbie with Delta Millworks. I'm here with Baker. We're here at our factory here in Austin, Texas, and today we're going to be talking about pre-finished wood. So what is pre-finished wood siding? It's also called factory finishing. Basically means it's a wood siding product that's ready for installation. It's been milled, it's been textured or sanded in any sort of way, and it's been coated. So once it hits your job site, it's ready for installation. There's a lot of factors that go into just producing a high quality finished wood siding product. And then there's the performance of it and how it lives its life in harsh exterior environments and hopefully performs well for many years. So Baker, why is pre-finished siding a good thing?
Well, for one, it distinguishes us from the other 1,000 millwork shops across the continent. The first thing we do in all of our pre-finished products is hit all these boards with a flood coater, right? So all four sides are getting sealed up at the first step of anything we do in this room over here. And that's maybe as important or more important than what's going on the face. You know, unless something goes terribly wrong with your siding, you're never gonna see the backs of those boards again. And that's where a lot of moisture issues can creep up, you know, especially if your siding installation isn't ventilated properly. You know, moisture will get trapped back there. And we're talking about not just rain, we're talking about humidity, condensation that will be in contact with the backs of these boards. So things you can't even see can cause your material to start warping and cupping. 90% of our products get 2 full coats on the face, measured to the wet mill, and that lets us make sure that all these colors and all these stains and all these beautiful products are gonna stay looking that way for as long as possible. You know, everything you're looking at in front of you right now is part of a new 3-coat finish system that we're working on that's drastically improving the performance of our current products. Delta Millworks and pre-finished siding are pretty much synonymous, and that's put us on the map and made us the company we are today.
Traditionally, wood siding was either finished on site, as we were doing back in the day, painted on sawhorses, put out to dry, then installed. Another thing that frankly we still see today sometimes is a raw piece of wood going up and then being finished after installation. We call that site finishing. It's tedious, it's time consuming, it's dependent on the weather, and it's more costly than finishing wood in a factory finishing line, which we have here. So we're applying the coating to all 4 sides. As Baker mentioned, we're back sealing the back side of the wood, which is recommended for any woods and is a best practice. Wood can absorb moisture from any sides. The end cuts need to be sealed as well. But we are doing all this in a controlled environment. So if it's raining outside, if it's 100 degrees or 30 degrees, whatever the factors are, we're gonna run these through a controlled environment with machines specifically designed for coating these wood products.
Doing this in a controlled environment is super important. And so we're controlling both the temperature and the humidity in our finishing room to the specifications on the product. It's just paramount into the proper adherence and the proper, you know, consistency of these products that the architectural market demands and our homeowners demand too.
If not done properly, if one board's done differently than the other, that can be an inconsistent appearance. It can also lead to inconsistencies down the road when the wood is exposed to the elements and starts to age. We're literally measuring the wet millage of each coat we perform. We're documenting that. You know, it's not just consistency with the finish, but it's keeping control samples.
Absolutely.
We're kind of looking at some of our standard products here. These are some of our newer finishes that Baker mentioned. But we do a lot of custom stuff as well, and our custom capabilities is another big advantage of working with Delta. Our clients want to really dial in the wood they're using for their siding. It needs to match the landscape, it needs to match other materials on the home, it needs to match the style and design of the home. Could be just a color preference at the end of the day. But we really want to cater to those clients, and it's frankly taken us years to really become experts in pre-finished wood to be able to offer custom colors and do it properly. When we approach custom colors, like I said, it can start from anything. It can start from matching another wood product. It can start from matching a piece of aluminum or brick or a color in a color chart. Before we're even making samples or sending stuff out the door, it really starts with multiple conversations to talk about expectations of what they're wanting on a project.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about communication with the client. A lot of times that conversation starts with, oh, I need, this certain species of wood that's best for this type of application to match another aspect of the project. A lot of times it's flooring. Sometimes it'll even be tile or countertops. When it comes to that, it's always most efficient for us to get a physical sample in our hands. That'll usually save a couple rounds of samples. And that means 3 to 6 weeks in the process, which can be valuable time.
And it's a complex process. If you run something once and it's beautiful, you have to be able to repeat it a month down the road or 2 years down the road. And that's something that Delta has really perfected. If someone wants this today, it's gonna look the same next year. And we preserve those control samples, so we really know exactly what the client got by maintaining physical samples.
The importance of a mock-up to these large-scale projects is just super important, not only for getting all of our clients and builders and architects familiar with the material in an aesthetic regard, it's also about installation procedures. So if you have a good, even I'd say 4x4 mock-up, 4 feet by 4 feet on the ground on your job site that's been installed by the same guys that are going to be putting in your siding and is left to even weather for 6, 8, 10 months, that's one of the most valuable parts in our process.
That's a great point. We cannot stress mock-ups enough. Order a mock-up for your project. We're talking about color and coatings today, but it doesn't just assess the color of what you're getting, it assesses the grain, the expectations and the character and the grade of wood. And lastly, it allows the installer to hopefully have a few boards to install, hopefully properly under the right methods, but see everything and do everything before the siding package is delivered to your job site. That's very important and definitely a best practice we recommend for any project. So let's talk about performance of our coatings. We highly recommend a multiple coat for wood siding. We see a lot of siding out there that has a single coat on it or is more of a retail type of coating that can last 1 year, 2 years. I mean, we've seen stuff, frankly, through our own experience over the years. When we started finishing wood, no one else was doing it really, not with these high quality semi-transparent stains at least. So at Delta, we've really learned through experience. There's a lot of nuances that go into pre-finished wood. In terms of performance, most of these products are going to fall in the 4 to 6 year window of needing to be restained or any type of serious maintenance, which is really good. What we're trying to do at Delta is show a natural look, still accent the wood, but keep it protected. We found that's very difficult to have a beautiful, natural looking product while offering performance. With some of these new coatings we're looking at, it almost looks like it has a very, very light coat on it or even a single coat. You can really see some of the natural wood tones come through. And that's important to us. And if you didn't see that, it just looked like it was painted. And we really want to accentuate and showcase the grain of the wood. And with these new coatings, we're going to be expecting an even higher performing timeline than that 4 to 6 year window. So we would argue safely that current new products are really the highest performing on the market. A lot of woods can be beautiful, but do they perform? I think if you're working with any type of pre-finished siding, I would ask whoever that supplier is, how long is this gonna last? What are those expectations? It really helps to talk to Delta Millworks, let us know what you want in terms of appearance, but also performance. Once again, a beautiful wood product may not perform. So a year or two down the road, if it's not the right coating or only a single coat, it could look drastically different than when it was delivered to your job site.
It's really easy to make a piece of wood look good when it's delivered. It's a lot harder to make sure it looks good in 4 to 5 years. And, when we're talking about pre-finished wood siding and just pre-coated wood in general, I've got to mention, just the maintenance procedure. It's not if, but when your product is going to need maintenance, and we make sure that that's as minimally invasive as possible. So whichever version of our product you're using, all you're really going to have to do is clean that surface and shoot a fresh top coat on it. There's no sanding, there's no stripping, there's nothing nasty chemicals involved.
Yeah, that's a one coat application, and we'll refresh the color to hopefully its original state and give you another 4 to 6 years of performance. So at the end of the day, these products are very low maintenance, not just for wood, but even for other building materials. So please call us to ask us any questions whatsoever about coated woods, whether it's how long it's going to perform, or if you're looking for a particular color, texture, or look. We're happy to work through you on any questions or expectations you have with what you're looking for with a pre-finished wood siding product.